What's up everyone, it's Mark from SilencedTech. I hope you're all keeping well. It feels so good to finally say that again. Over the past couple of months I've had a real rough time, I can tell you that. After splitting up with my partner, I can finally say I'm settled into my new place and I will do more of an update soon. But first I think it's best to just fire out a load of awesome tech videos for you all. Lexo has kindly sponsored this video. Their stunning Hades RGB DDR4 is available in various kit sizes from 8GB and up, while reaching speeds of 3600 MHz with a simple XMP overclock in your system BIOS. With an RGB light strip running along the top, they will make any PC look stunning. Hades RGB DDR4 is also supported in software such as AuraSync, RGB Fusion, Mystic Light and more. They really are the gamer's choice. Check out the link in the description to find out more. Right everyone, before I disappeared I had a load of parts kindly sent out from different companies such as Gigabyte, Corsair and Intel to make a decent budget PC build, saying that the overall price is around $1,400 US and 1200 UK pounds. Although the price is high, that's for a current gen brand new gaming PC featuring an Intel i5-12400, a $200 6-core CPU capable of reaching speeds of well over 5 GHz. This will give me plenty of headroom if I ever decide to upgrade my GPU later on down the road. Considering GPU prices at the time and the fact I was trying to keep this PC under $1,000, I went with an RTX 3050 from Gigabyte, their Eagle 8G. Unfortunately it doesn't even beat out a last gen RTX 2060, which is disappointing. Luckily it only costs $249 US or 239 UK pounds. We'll check out its performance a little later on in the video. First of all, let's check out the case. This is a 257R from Corsair, an ATX mid-tower budget case costing as low as 65 UK pounds and 75 US dollars. While this older case lacks a lot of the newer features from Corsair's latest lineup, it still delivers great airflow, plus it has the looks to match, with a tempered glass side panel and a sleek PSU shroud that really helps with cable management. Unfortunately this case doesn't have a lot of headroom up top, meaning I had to front mount my AIO radiator. Still I believe the build overall looks extremely good. I managed to mount 3 120mm fans at the front, but there's support for 140mm fans as well. Up top I managed to fit 2 120mm fans and one on the rear. Originally I went for these Deepcool FC120 ARGB 120mm fans, but they just didn't match the build because they were white, even though they are extremely good and they connect forming a chain that goes straight to my motherboard's RGB port. It's very convenient. Instead I went for these Corona HP RGB 120mm fans that cost as little as 15 or 20 US dollars on places like eBay brand new. They all do an excellent job at cooling not only my GPU but my CPU as well. They come included with this handy little remote that allows you to cycle between loads of different RGB effects, and I also added some RGB strips that all run in sync with the fans. A great budget option overall. Check the description for more details. For the motherboard I went with an entry-level Gigabyte Z690 model supporting DDR5. Even though this is considered entry-level, it still costs a lot. You're looking at around 220 UK pounds or 250 US dollars for the basic model. Taking a closer look at the board, Gigabyte have included one full-length PCIe 5.0x16 slot, one full-length PCIe 3.0x4 slot, and one full-length PCIe 3.0x1 slot. For storage there are triple M.2 slots and all have support for PCIe 4.0. Plus there's a total of 6 SATA ports with support for RAID 0, 1, 5 and 10 arrays. Lastly, for memory, the Gigabyte Z690 UD-AX supports up to 128GB. The memory I picked is from Kingston, their Fury Beast DDR5, featuring a newly designed low-profile heat spreader that only measures 34.9mm in height. My 16GB set pushes all the way to 4800 MHz, which is a decent increase in performance compared to 3200 MHz DDR4, 2 times faster in fact. Moving on to the CPU, Intel's Core i5-12400 surprised me. Its performance is absolutely insane for a £200 or $1 CPU. Featuring 6 cores or 12 threads, it boosts up to 4.4 GHz stock, While of course this CPU is locked down by Intel, there has been many successful instances of people overclocking this Alder Lake CPU to even beyond 5 GHz, making it a fantastic budget option for gamers. Power draw is also a big plus point. Unlike its bigger brothers, at stock speeds it only draws up to 72 watts. Max temps was only at 42 degrees Celsius, making this a great chip for anyone trying to keep their electric costs at a minimum, which is pretty much all of us right now. I used a Corsair H100X to cool my i5-12400 and it does a fantastic job overall, especially since it only costs around $80 US. The GPU I chose for this build was sent out when prices were extremely high. Now prices have started to return to normal, a RTX 3060 Ti would be a much better choice. However, we are going to test the performance of this Gigabyte RTX 3050 Eagle anyway. It will still be a great card for 1080p gaming and it should play all of the latest games above 60 FPS max settings with the help of DLSS. Right now you should be able to pick one of these up for around $249 US or 239 UK pounds. Delving deeper into the specs, it has a core clock of 1792 MHz, 2560 CUDA cores and 8GB of GDDR6 memory. For ports, there's surprisingly 2 HDMI 2.1 ports and 2 DisplayPort 1.4a ports. Cooling the PCB is two 90mm fans featuring Gigabyte's WindForce technology. One problem with this card is its 128-bit memory bus. That's way down compared to the RTX 2060, even that has a much higher 192-bit bus. Although there is 8GB of GDDR6, it just won't perform well. Performance is more on par with the GTX 1660. Okay, let's see how well this PC will perform in my benchmark test. Please note, with the price of all the other parts in this build, an RTX 3060 Ti or higher would be much better suited, but I did this build when GPU prices were extremely high. Still, it will be interesting to see how good this RTX 3050 really performs. So there we are everyone. Even though I knew this card had a much lower memory bus, a part of me still had some hope for the RTX 3050 and it would deliver some good performance. However, it didn't do very well at all. Its saving grace was of course DLSS. It really helped in certain games to keep the frame rates as high as possible or above 60 FPS. Without that, it just really didn't do very well at all. I believe Intel's i5-12400 could easily handle a much beefier GPU such as a 3060 Ti or even higher, and it would be my recommendation for a build like this, especially at this price point. Anyway everyone, I really hope you've enjoyed watching my new budget build for 2022. It feels so great to be back and working on videos again. I will have an update very soon and long may they continue. My name is Mark from SilencedTech. I shall see you all very soon guys. Goodbye.